Hey you guys, it's Olivia over here with Royal Cookies, and today we're breaking open Graham's grape nut recipe box to make a recipe in honor of Afroman's win on his case and his new song Lemon Pound Cake. Now, I know the recipe card says lemon bread, but you guys, it's basically the same thing. So here's a quick view of the recipe card. You can tell that this has been through it. It is original back from when Graham gave it to me. I used to make this bread with her all the time, and it was one of my favorites of hers. I used to get so excited when she'd make it. So let's get to it. Here's a quick view of our ingredients. I know I forgot the lemons. Don't worry, you guys. There's definitely lemon in this bread. So first thing I'm going to do is take my loaf pan and I'm just going to spray it with some nonstick spray, and then I'm going to put a little bit of flour in it, and we're just going to bang it around a little bit very gently just to get all of the sides coated. And I usually finish this off in the trash can to make sure that I get all the sides, but I also don't want to get flour everywhere. Now, if you like these copper coated pans like I do, I'll put a link in the description below so you can get one as well. Now for my first tip today, I want to point out the difference between these two paddles. I have a KitchenAid 4.5 quart mixer, and it uses these attachments. You can see on the coated one that I've had for a hot minute, it's starting to wear out, and where I'm pointing right here, it's kind of faded and matte. You can't really see well on the camera, but the point of this here is that it seems to be wearing, and I don't really love having that in my food, so I strongly recommend using the metal one. Okay, first ingredient, we need 1 cup of sugar, and as you can see, I'm at the end of my container here, so give me just a second while I refill. Owning a cookie business means needing to keep your ingredients straight, so I'm just going to take another measuring cup and pour it over the other sugar in the bottom of the 1 cup measure so that I don't mix the 2 sugars together, and use a flat back knife just to scrape off and level the sugar before dumping it into the bowl. Now here's another tip. If you take 2 eggs and crack them together, you'll actually get an indent crack versus like on the side of the bowl where you get a bunch of different shards. I learned that from America's Test Kitchen, but you actually get less eggshells that way. Then we're just going to do a pinch of salt, measuring like Graham did, just in my hand. And our next tip is we're going to look at this shortening can, y'all. Like, it is at the bottom. But I'm telling you, there's still some in there, so I'm going to take one of my favorite spatulas from Tavolo, which I will also link in the description, and we are going to get, well, we need 1/3 of a cup of shortening, and I got about half of that out of this so-called empty can. So if you want to save on your ingredients and you want to profit the most you can off of your baked goods, I'm telling you, you need to get one of these spatulas, and you need to use every last drop because there is still some in there, y'all. Look at all this. Alright, so I just about have everything out of the can and into the measuring cup, and I'm just kind of smashing the shortening in there. Now, look how clean that is. So I'm just going to get a new shortening tub, and I'm just going to clean off the old shortening because of course we don't want any cross-contamination or mixing ingredients here. And I'm just going to finish filling that 1/3 cup measure with the new shortening, and then I'm just going to scrape it off into the bowl. Now here's another place where I get a little stingy, and I really got to get every little drop, so you can actually use the cup against the spatula to do that. We're just going to add our 1 teaspoon of baking powder and our 2 teaspoons of lemon extract. And we're just going to add a little bit of lemon juice to this. Real lemon juice, y'all. You got to use real. So I just rolled it on the counter for a second. That just helps to release some of the juices in the lemon. I'm going to get a little strainer, lay that over my bowl, and start squeezing just half the lemon in. We don't need a whole ton. We still have the lemon extract. And I'm going to use that strainer to prevent any of the seeds from getting in. So I'm just going to start mixing this on a low speed and then crank it up to a medium speed, get it all mixed together. I just also wanted to call out this spatula. So we have this like little tip on one side. These spatulas are fantastic, especially if you use the rounded edge against the side of the bowl for scraping bowls. It's not that great for mixing any kind of like really thick icings because it's so flexible, but for this, it works really, really well. Okay, I'm just gonna let that get mixed together, and then we're gonna start adding our dry ingredients. So we're gonna start off with 1.5 cups of flour. I'm just using regular all-purpose flour here, and again, use the back of a straight backed knife to scrape and level that off in the cup. Then we're gonna add our 1/2 cup of milk and we're gonna mix that together. Again, you're gonna wanna start on a low speed. You don't wanna have a flour cloud here. And we're just gonna mix it until it gets all incorporated. And I even bump this up to a medium speed until it's all mixed together and it looks a lot like this. Again, going in with that spatula, scraping off all the excess on our paddle. Again, wanting to be stingy, get everything off. And then we're just gonna zest the lemon that I still have that's whole. You don't want to go too far down, you guys. If you get down to that white pith, which I'm actually going to show you here, I got a little deep on in some areas, that stuff is really bitter and you don't want that in your lemon bread or your lemon pound cake. So we're just going to go onto the surface of the lemon. Once the yellow is gone, you're done. So then we're just going to put this back on the mixer. We're just going to mix that lemon zest in real quick. It's not going to take very long. Don't overmix. If you overmix, you could have some tough dry bread. So I'm just banging that off of the mixer, setting the mixer aside, get the rest of the dough off of that paddle. And then I'm just gonna scrape down the sides and kind of get this all together in one spot in the bowl. And then I'm gonna do that again, scraping it off to one side. This just makes it easier to pour it into the bowl and really get everything out. I mean, look at that bowl, y'all. It is so clean. And then we're gonna take the back of that flat back knife again, scrape off the rest of the spatula, make sure you get every ounce, and then we are going to put this in the oven for 50 minutes, y'all, at 350 degrees, and this is what comes out after that. You're just gonna take your gorgeous lemon bread or lemon pound cake, throw it on a cooling rack, and many, many hours later, when it is completely cooled, we're gonna make our lemon glaze. Now, I just wanted to call out this recipe real quick because it does say 1/2 cup of sugar. It does not say powdered sugar, but we're using powdered sugar today because we want a glaze, not a weird crystallized lemony something on the top of our bread. So you can sift the powdered sugar, but it's really not necessary. I just wanted to show you guys how I do it. So I just take another one of those wonderful Tavolo spatulas, scoop out some powdered sugar into the sifter and just kind of press it in through the sifter, and it works really, really quickly that way. Then we're just gonna squeeze the rest of our lemon juice over our sifter, making sure we don't get any seeds in there. And y'all, these lemons were so juicy. I was not prepared for this. So there's way more juice than there is sugar in here. It's not really a measure thing. So I'm just gonna keep adding powdered sugar to even this out. You want it to be kind of like ribbony, so you want it to be thick, but you don't want it to be a paste and you don't want it to be watery. This ended up actually being a happy little mistake because the people I'm making lemon pound cake for today love glaze. Now, call out to a little bit of cleanup here. I'm using one of these things that's actually called a Swedish dishcloth, and it's made out of bamboo. It's basically like a reusable paper towel, and I 10 out of 10 recommend. But I also recommend that you let your counter dry off before you put parchment paper on it, because when you put parchment paper on any kind of moisture, it does this curling thing. So the way that I'm gonna combat that, because I'm obviously too impatient, is I'm just gonna fold over the corners, and that keeps it from rolling up so badly. So we're gonna do this glaze in 3 or 4 parts, depending on how much you make. You're gonna put on a base layer just like I am, wait about 20 or 30 minutes for it to crust over, and then you're gonna put more glaze on top of that and just keep repeating until you run out of glaze. That makes sure you get ultimate coverage. Now look at this bread, you guys. It is soft, it is indulgent, it is lemony, it smells lemony, it tastes lemony. It is just the perfect thing with coffee, or just because, or maybe to celebrate a court case that you just won. So if you guys try this recipe, let me know in the comments below how it went for you. I think you guys are totally gonna love this, and Afroman, this one's for you. Thanks for watching.